We're making black and white compositions, so I want you to use only black or white for this first stage, but there are ways to get visual gray by how we mix black and white. If you blur your eyes, this will start to look a little more gray than black or white. And these are fills that are patterns. So just like I would fill a color here uh, with either black or white, the way that I can get patterns is to come to either my fill palette up here, or I also have a swatch palette over here. And in both of these, down in the bottom, there's this little collection of book icons, a swatch libraries menu. It's over here also, as long as I have my item selected. So I'm going to come down to patterns and basic graphics. You can use any of these. If you use any of these, I will kill you and dance on your grave singing hallelujah. Nothing good will come from using the decorative or nature patterns for this assignment. But basic graphics, dots, lines, textures, if I choose one of these, I get a variety of patterns that I can see. I can also change the large thumbnail list so I can get a better preview of what these patterns look like, and maybe I want to fill it with these mostly black dots here. So that gives me one pattern. There's a variety to choose from. Once I have selected a pattern, it shows up in my selection palette so I can reuse it. Um, but the patterns, basic graphics, lines is also here, and do I have textures also? Yes. Large thumbnail view. These are patterns based on landscape for drafting by the U.S. Geological Service, I think. So that you'll see, yeah, USGS, intermittent pond and shifting sand and some other different stippling things. So feel free to play with them, but judiciously use them. If they make the composition better, great. If not, they can go to hell. So that's how we get started by applying patterns. But I also want to point out that in my scale tool and also in my rotate tool, I can either move, let's see, what do I have it set on? If I rotate, right now if I rotate this square, the pattern rotates with it. But I can, in my rotate settings, if I double click here, I'm going to make this back to 0, preview. I can choose to transform just the object and not the pattern, or vice versa. So in this case, I'm going to keep the object where it is, and I'm going to rotate the pattern 45 degrees. I get a preview here, and notice that now I've got diagonal lines, or 60 degrees. And so I can get a rotation that way. Click OK. Um, so, and similar to that, I can, with the scale tool, if I come, I'm going to select another one. With the scale tool, I'm going to double click on that scale tool icon. If I scale this up 400%, I can choose to transform just the pattern or just the object. Yeah, let me go back to 200, I'll give you a better idea. So if I transform the object but not the pattern, pattern stays the same size. If I can transform both of them, or I can transform just the pattern, and click OK. So I can control the size of that pattern and the rotation angle of it. One of the things about this object, because I made the pattern 200% scale, I believe, because I made it 200% scale, even if I select a different pattern, it will make it a larger version of that pattern. But feel free to play with the scale tool and rotate tool, double click, change the settings, and get some more gray out of black and white in a variety of ways using patterns.